Long before he's walking the sidelines as the Jets head coach, Todd Bowles was a two-star sport in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Russ Salzberg is here now with more on this homegrown sports hero. Yes,
So
I remember
cool.
when he got this gig. It was such a big deal for New Jersey.
Homegrown indeed. If, folks, you're a football coach, well, then being a head coach in the National Football League is being at the top of your profession. After all, there are only 32 of those jobs existing. But for Todd Bowles, it's not so much about where he landed, but much more about the journey that got him there.
We had this court where everybody would just go out and play and do whatever. So there was a bunch of us. That's how you learn how to play baseball, football, basketball, play cards and everything else. So you don't notice that you don't have anything because you have so many friends around, it didn't matter.
Todd Bowles grew up in the Pioneer Homes projects in Elizabeth, New Jersey, never knowing that one day he'd return to his Garden State roots and become head coach of the New York Jets. When you talk about Elizabeth, you got a smile on your face. So as you say, you didn't have a lot, but you did have a lot because it looks like it was good times for you there.
It was great times. I wouldn't trade anything in the world for it. Growing up with the friends I had and going to school the way I did and learning the things and experience I've learned there, you can't get nowhere else.
A former Major League manager, Jimmy Williams, once said to me, he said, "Russ, you can teach players skills, you can teach them technique, you can't ever teach hunger." You buy that?
And I do agree with it. You know, you grow up kind of learning that and you kind of have it automatically. If you don't have it, you can't get it. You know, Coach Arians used to tell me it's better to say whoa than sick 'em. So, you know, you got to have it. Coach Arians is Bruce Arians, the current head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. He was also Todd's college coach at Temple University, the school he attended on a football scholarship after starring in both football and baseball during his days at Elizabeth High. But following his college career, Todd's path to the pros hit a snag due to an injury. I was a one-armed guy. You know, I dislocated 6 out of 7 bones in my wrist. I was actually never supposed to play again. So I understood why I didn't get drafted. I went to the combine, but I couldn't do a push-up. I couldn't do a bench press at 225, and who's going to draft a one-arm safety? You go undrafted. You end up with the Washington Redskins, and in your second year, you're not only a full-time starter, you become a Super Bowl champion. That's quite an accomplishment. You know, it happened so fast in my early 20s that I wish I had it back so I could enjoy it more. But it's just the next phase in life. You just play football. That's all I know how to do at that time. And I expected to make the team. I expected to play. I expected to start because I always worked at it. When your Redskins won the Super Bowl, they were led by Doug Williams, the first African-American quarterback to accomplish that. At that time, did you appreciate the significance of it? I think it was in later years because we were still preparing to play, and I was, 23 years old at the time, my second year, so you knew everything that was happening, but while you're in the game, you have to concentrate on what you have to do because there was a bunch of us that were just playing and it was a team effort. And after the fact, you didn't get a chance to recognize it till really I got in my 30s. You don't really get a chance to appreciate what had really happened. After a solid 8-year career in the NFL, it was Bowles' former quarterback with the Redskins, Doug Williams, that gave him his first opportunity into the coaching ranks. I hadn't thought about coaching, but Doug thought I would be a great coach, and I turned him down several times because I thought he had a million people to choose from, and he said he wanted me, and I said I never coached before. He said he practiced against me every day. He think I'd be good at it. So I went to Morehouse, and Doug was the head coach. I was the defensive coordinator. My first job was a defensive coordinator, not quality control or position coach. It was DC. And then we went to Grambling after that 1 year, his alma mater. For 2 years, I was the defensive coordinator there. From college, it was on to the pros, where Todd spent time as an assistant on 6 different NFL teams. In 2014, he served as a defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals and his old college coach at Temple, Bruce Arians. Then, the big break came in 2015, when Todd was named head coach of the New York Jets. Of all places to get a head job in your hometown or home state, so to speak, is unbelievable. You know, you really don't sit back and think about it until you retire, but some days you sit back and at least for a half a second, you're like, wow, I can't believe I haven't been home in a long time. So to come back home, especially to the fanfare that I've been getting and to coach a team as historic as the Jets is a great honor.
You seem like a guy who is a no-nonsense guy, always on an even keel, very guarded about your emotions. Is that fair to say?
I have my days. I'm about as crazy as everybody else. I have my days in practice where I'm yelling. I have temper tantrums like everybody else. I joke around a lot. I'm probably very sarcastic. But you know, that's all outside of football. Football-wise, no nonsense when it comes to loafing and being late for meetings and not knowing your assignments type of thing. But everything else, I'm normal.
And dealing with the media?
The media is part of it, you know. As I said, the media is just like it was in Arizona. There's only about 95 more of them.
Talk about coming full circle. Todd recently returned to his hometown of Elizabeth, where a field was named in his honor.
That was very humbling, especially down where I grew up at. They tore down the old projects and put up some townhomes and houses, and it made it real nice. And to get a field, I didn't want to go because usually when people get fields named after them, they already passed away. And I thought, I was like, am I dying? I said, please, no. But it was a great honor, and I can't say enough about it.
You won a Super Bowl in your second year as a player. This is your second year as a head coach of the Jets. I'm not suggesting you're going to win the Super Bowl this year, but what would be better, winning it as a player or winning a Super Bowl as a head coach?
At 23, I would tell you as a player. At 52, definitely a coach.
Good answer. But you know what, folks? To know who you really, really are, you can't forget where you came from. That being said, Todd Bowles knows very, very well exactly who he is and where indeed he came from.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Jason Williams saw the attributes in him before he even did.
No,
That would make him a great head
he's
coach.
really just a unaffected, unassuming guy who gets it.
Yeah, you can see that he's so good-natured.
Just a genuine,
Level-headed.
like the real deal.
Yeah.
What we
Cool.
need. Thank you, Russ, and good to see you.
Good to see you.